Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel The Real Technical Knowledge. First of all, I would like to thanks to everyone for providing support to my channel. If you like this video, then please like, comment and subscribe the channel if you are new on this channel. And please do not forget to click the bell icon to get a video's notification. So on today's video, we are going to learn how to create a employee attendance sheet in MS Excel. So for creating employee attendance sheet, we will take four approaches. The first one is a conditional formatting, the second one is a formula, the third one is a dynamic approach, and the last but not least is a VBA. So in VBA there is a small programming involved in this, and you will learn this, and it's an easy one also. So please watch this video till end, because we will add a instant functionality in this sheet at the end of the video. So without doing any delay, let's start creating an employee attendance sheet. So let me first introduce that sheet. So this is the sheet where we have a multiple months over there in a list format. This is a current year. This one is also a dynamic one. After changing a 2021, it will automatically change to 2021. This one is the first date of the month. This one is the last date of the month. Then we have a few employees detail over there. Then days, date according to the month selection. See, it will change dynamically. Then we have a copy sheet option. There we will have some kind of VBA coding over there. After clicking on copy sheet, it will create another copy of that particular month along with the year. Then clear sheet, it will clear all the contents available for that particular month. So let's suppose if we have a percent here, then percent here. If you click on clear sheet, it will automatically clear all the things. So there is a VBA code under this. We will also learn these things in this video. Before creating an attendance sheet, we need to create a support sheet for this one. So this is my support sheet: month, holidays and leave. Under month, we will have all the 12th month listed there. So we will provide a name of this in this video. Why we need to create a name? Because if you are working on a range, then it's difficult to provide a range all the times in a sheet. So instead of providing the range, we will provide a name of that particular range, so that we will call that name directly whenever required in a sheet. This one is for holiday, and this one is for our leave type: present, absent, unplanned leave, half day leave, week off and holiday leave. This one should be a holiday. So let's start creating a new sheet for you. So I have created a new sheet. Then I have put it over there is support, and another sheet is attendance. Under support, let me put month as heading, then January, then we need to drag it to December. Then we will have holidays. Let me copy those holidays from here. Then we will have leave type, which is P for present, A for absent, half day leave, unplanned leave, week off, which is Saturday, Sunday, and holiday. Like 1st January is a holiday, so the sheet will provide you a HD against 1st January 2020. So now we need to provide a name over there for each range of this sheet. First of all, we need to select that range. Then we need to go in the formula to providing a name. Under the formula, we will have option as a define name. So please click on define name. A pop-up will have here. We need to provide a name of that range. So I am providing a month as range. Similarly for holiday, I am going to provide a name for that. Holidays. Similarly for leave type, I am also going to provide a name is leave type. So under the scoping purpose, you need to click on workbook. Otherwise, you can only use that particular sheet which you are going to select. Like let's suppose if I select only support, then this range or this name is only work on that particular sheet. So I'm going to select the entire workbook so that I can call that name on any sheet of that Excel sheet. Click on OK. So now you have created a name. These names will reflect under the name manager. If you want to change a range of a particular name, then please click on it, and then we have an option to edit those ranges. So click on edit and you can increase or decrease the range of the particular name. After creating a name, we need to create the attendance sheet for the employees. For that, I am going to copy the information from already created sheet, which is employee attendance sheet. Then I have pasted here. So I will provide that merge for year. I am merging this up. So how can we provide a month name here? So first of all, I need to click here. Then we need to go in a data because we need to provide a list over there. After clicking on data, we need to click on data validation. Under data validation, we have a setting option. Under this setting option, we will have a allow. Then we need to choose the list. Under list, we will have a source. So under source, either you want to provide a range or we have created a name for the month. So I am just providing a name for that particular range. After clicking on that, but creating a list for that particular month, we will have all the month listed over there, right? Then here we will put a formula for year, later part, the CD, which is a start date. Similarly, we will put a end date for that particular month. Now I am going to save the sheet. Under date, start date, we need to put a formula. So this date is going to be a first date of the month. So we will have a formula like date value, then we need to put a date as text. So the first date is 1, always 1. Then we need to provide a month for that particular date. So I am going a %, then we need to put a month as well. So month I am taking this as M1, then you need to close the bracket. Okay, see, without comma you need to put over there. So now this is considering as a general, so I need to change the cell type. So changing the cell type, we need to go in a format cell, then go in with a date or where you want to. So I am going to take this as a this one. So 1st January 2020. So this is with the end date, that means the last date of the month. So we have a formula like EO month, then a start date is this, then we need to provide a month. So month always takes 0 over there, so that this will pick up the current month for that. Then we need and put it over. See, the start date of the month is January, 1st January, and the last date of the month is 31st. If you changing this will automatically change to 1st to 29th. So this is a dynamic approach we are going to use. So after selecting a month, the start date and the end date is automatically changing. So now I am taking a year. So for year you need to give the range of the first date of the month, which is this. It will provide you all the details for that particular cell E2, which is 1st Jan 2020. So I need to do a format cell for this. Go to the custom, because I need to only pick a year. So you need to only provide y 4 times y, then it will give you a year only, 2020. So now we have created the first part of this sheet. For the second part of the sheet, we need to pull the data from the already existing sheet, because it will take time to enter each and every record over there. So I am pasting the employee detail. So now we will pull the date 1 to 31, or according to the month selection. So for pulling a date, we will have to provide a range for that. So I am giving the range of E2. After selecting E2, it will provide you all the values of E2. So similarly, we need to change the cell type as DD. In year we were selected YY. For date we need to put only DD. It will give you a only date over there. So now if you drag this one, it will not work, because the range from E2, in a next cell it will change to F2. Okay, so it will not work. So for this we need to put a formula, which is if this value is less than, that means the previous value is less than the end of the date of that particular month, then please add 1 to the previous date. So plus 1, else provide a blank. See, this is working for us. So if you drag this will also provide an error or not provide any kind of data over there. Why? Because on a next cell the value for the end of month will change to K2. However, the value end of date value is in J2. So we need to fix this value. For fixing this value or freezing this value, we will have F4, function 4. Now it's freezed. Now you can drag this. So now we will have all the 31 date over there. Now we need to pull the days. So for pulling days, we need to put a formula for this. Is equal to days, means we need to put a formula text. Then we need to provide a range value of C6, because we need to pull the days for that particular date, which is under in C6, that is the first date. Then we need to put a format text option. Format text option is DDD, then bracket close. It will provide you a 3 letter of that days. Then we need to drag it till the end. In this formula, no need to freeze the cell, because after C6 you need to pull the days for D6, then E6, similarly for all the dates. So now I am putting something like this so that you will have a visibility of this one. So now I am doing some formatting here, so that sheet will look good. So now I did some formatting in this sheet, so that this sheet will look good. Now we need to pull the holidays count. Why we need to pull the holidays count here? Because after pulling those detail or holidays count, we can identify which date belongs to the holiday. So in this sheet we will have 1st January 2020 as a holiday, so that this date will consider as a holiday in our sheet. Then we need to put a formula as if C6 is equal to blank, that means no date mentioned over there, then please provide as 1, else pull the record from the holiday sheet. For pulling that record from holiday range, we need to use the match function. match function will provide you a count of holidays. So let's suppose the first holiday is 1st January 2020. 1st January 2020. So it will provide you a 1. On 14th January 2020, it will provide you a index 2 for that particular holiday, 14th January 2020. Similarly for 26th January 3. So now we need to complete the formula. Match. Then we need to provide a lookup value. So we have already created that lookup value for holiday with the name of holidays. Yes. See, the Excel will automatically prompt you that particular range, holiday. Then lookup array is C6, comma, match type should be exact always. Then we need to close the bracket twice, one for match and another one is for if. So it is giving an error. Wait, we forgot to add one thing here, which is a lookup array. So first of all, we need to provide the cell value, then lookup value, then exact match. It will provide you a holiday index. Similarly, we need to pull for each and every record. See, somewhere you are getting NA, somewhere you are getting a number 2, number 3. That means second index for that particular holiday is 14th, then 26th Jan consider as a third index for that. However, we are getting a NA value or an error value in some date. To override this value, we will have a function as if error. So whenever an error occurred, what we need to do? We need to put as 0 over there. So whenever a cell will provide you an error, this function, that means if error function, will provide you a 0 value. See, now our error is rectified with if error function. So I will put all the formulas in my description so that you can easily learn these things. So now we have pulled a holiday index, days and date. Now we need to put the list of leave type under these same. For pulling those lists and under this cell value, we need to click on data, similarly as month. So we need to click on data validation, then we need to go in a list, then we need to put a value. So that was leave. Leave range was not there, then I believe it was leave type. Yeah, leave type. See, all the value of leaves listed here. Now let's copy this and paste it in all over the cell. So now you will have all the leave type over there. Save the sheet. Now we need to put the percentage, half days, leave, unplanned leave, working days, and total number of attendance here. For that, let me pull from here. So under full day present, we will have all present date. Similarly for absent, unplanned leave, half day leave, working days and present days. So now we need to color the week off as red. However, this is not the correct method to do that. Why? If you select the different month, it will provide you a different days as a color. To override this, we need to use the conditional formatting. To use conditional formatting, first of all we need to select the range from C5 to AG60 because our data belongs to these range only. To do conditional formatting, we need to go in home, then we need to go in conditional formatting, then we need to click on manage rule, then we will have a pop-up for conditional formatting rule manager, then we need to click on new rules. Under this new rule, we need to select the user formula to determine which cell to format. That means we need to put some formula over there. On the basis of that formula, the Excel will automatically format that particular cell. So under this formula, first of all, we will format the cell with the value of Saturday, so that entire cell will color code according to that. For this, we need to put a formula as equal to or parenthesis open, then we need to put the cell value. Cell value is C5 equal to Saturday because C5 value belongs to this. However, we need to fix the number part of this cell because C5 in C5 the 5 is always fixed. However, the value for column is going to be changed, so that for fixing only one value we need to put a $sign before that value. So I am putting a dollar value before 5 so that 5 will fix and C is in increasing order, C, D, E, F, G. Then we need to click on format cell. Then I am choosing a red option over there, then border, then I am putting it as a bold. Border should be this. If you want to do that, a color for that border, go ahead. Then I need to click on OK, then OK, and if you click on apply, then all the Saturday will be color as red. Similarly, we need to put a rule for Sunday. $5 equal to Sunday. See, all the Saturday, Sunday is colored as red. Now we need to put a formula for holiday as well, because holiday should be colored in a different. So for this we need to put another rule under the same category. However, the formula is going to be different. For this we need to use the count if. Why we need to use count if? Because this formula will count, provide you a number for that particular holiday. If that particular holiday range contains the holiday days, then it will provide or it will color code according to that. So for this we need to put holidays as a range, because COUNTIF will pull the record from holidays and then match it with C6. That means if C6 value contains under the holidays, then it will provide you a number. Okay, it will provide you a true value for that. The 1st Jan, the 14th Jan and the 26th Jan. According to our sheet, these three belongs to the holiday. However, if you see under the 26th Jan, the Sunday red color has changed to green color. However, Saturday and Sunday should be in a red by force, because this will consider as a week off. So for that we need to go in a manage rule. So conditional formatting is working as sequential. So the first value is in green format, so that's why the Excel sheet convert those red color in a green. To override this, we need to put the green color or green formatting under the last option. After changing the sequence of that conditional formatting, it will reflect in your sheet. Let me provide a border for this. Please remove the grid line as well, so that the sheet will look good. So now you have done with all the conditional formatting. Now it's time to check that conditional formatting for each month. February, Sunday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, and then 5th was a holiday for as per the holiday list. Similarly, we need to check for other months. Yes, it is working. Let's check for the last month. So now we need to put some record here. So we need to put formula as count if. We need to provide the range what we need to count as p value. See, it is providing 27. That means the COUNTIF formula is considering the Saturday, Sunday and the holidays count as well. To rectify this, we need to put a different formula with different conditions as well. So that means we need to put a multiple COUNTIFs. To use multiple COUNTIF, we will have a function as COUNTIFs. Then we need to provide the range, then same range. However, we need to fix the P column and AG column. Why? Because C is always fixed for every user until AG. C is fixed also until the AG. However, for row number 7 is for employee E01 Rak, and row number 8 belongs to Ramesh. So we need to only fix the column. However, the row should be in a incremental manner, right? Then we need to put the criterias. So criteria is P only. To get a correct number of present other than Saturday, Sunday and holiday, we need to put the other conditions as well. So under this condition, we have provided C5 to AG5 is not equal to. This is the sign of not equal to Sunday. Similarly, for C5 to AG5, that means the day value is not belongs to Saturday. That means Saturday, Sunday do not count Saturday and Sunday. Similarly, for C4 to AG4, that means for holiday. If it is 0, then only count. Else if it is a number, then do not count anything. Only count the 0th value. We have fixed with Saturday, Sunday under this, and we also fixed with the holiday count, and this should be always fixed because this is not going to be changed. If you put enter, it will provide you a value 20. So count this 20 present value. Similarly, we need to use for absent. Only the value is going to be changed as A. We don't have any absent, so let me put a absent value here. See, the present is reduced by 1 and the full day absent is increased by 1. Unplanned leave, we need to put UL. Similarly, for half day leave, which we need to put HL. So there is a little bit change in the formula under the working days. So what would be the working days? The working days would be only Monday to Friday until the first date to or a last date of the month, excluding the holiday as well. So in this formula, we will have all the things listed there. Only we need to put a count ifs, then it will provide you all the working days. It will reduce or eliminate the Saturday, Sunday and holiday from your list, from your date. See, so now we will have a 22 working days in December 2020. For the current month in August, we have 21 days, and 15 August is considered as a week off. Under the percentage, we need to put some formula. We need to add the full days, and in a half day we need to put multiplication by 0.5. 1 into 0.5, it will provide you a 16.5, because a user 1 or associate 1 E01 present full 16 days and 1 half day, which is considered as 16.5. So now we are done with the formulas. We need to just select the first until the last record, then we need to put only Control D here. It will pull all the formulas from first one. So now if you are putting something like this, it will automatically reflect over there, and the P value is not going to be considered. Okay, so we will change later by formulas these things. Week off and holiday we will put by coding. We will learn this also in this video, how to put a VBA coding over there, and it will automatically change the value of week off and the holiday. Now our sheet is prepared. However, we need to copy these sheet with respect to the month and year in another sheet, because after completion of 1 month we need to take a backup of those things. To do that, we need to write a VBA code over there. For that, first of all, I need to combine the month and year as well. To do that, we have a concatenate function, text number 1, this, then we need something like this, text and value. So we need to concatenate both the cell value in one, so that the macro will save the sheet according to that value. So under this formula concatenate, I have gave the reference of M1, which is a month, then the text format option of E2, where the text will only pull the year from it, which is 2020. So August 2020. So we will pull that record as well. So this is the VBA code that we are going to write. I will put this code in a description box as well, so that you can directly copied it and pasted in a Excel sheet. So this is the formula code. I'm copying it, and to pull the macro sheet we need to press Alt F11, or you need to go in a developer tab, then Visual Basic. If developer tab is not available, then right click on ribbon, customize ribbon, then the developer option is available here. So now we need to go in the coding part of this sheet. Under this we need to go in insert module, and I have copied that code. So this code will provide you a AD value as sheet name. See, AD value, and I have also put that concatenate function under the AD value. So it will pull the value from AD1 and copy that sheet in a same work. And this if function is pulling a record from B1. Why B1? Because I put it as like B1 record is not equal to B1 cell value is not equal to blank. That means there should be a value in B1. Then only this macro will work. So I have put it this B1 as purposely or intentionally because I have a value in B1, so that macro will work. So now I need to save this one. So after saving, the Excel will prompt you a message. Do you want to continue with the macro free, or do you want to save this as a macro enabled circuit? Whenever you are putting any macro in Excel sheet, we need to save the sheet as a macro enabled sheet. To do that, we need to select the Excel macro enabled workbook under the save as type. So now your macro is available to run. Now we need to assign that macro. Where I need to assign? We need to pull a symbol. So I have pulled a symbol here. Then I need to do some formatting. Let's pull the black one. Then copy sheet. Now we need to right click on this symbol, assign macro. Under assign macro, we will have that function which we have created in a VBA code. See now that macro is assigned and that symbol, and we have a hand icon over there. Whenever you click on that copy sheet, it will create you a new sheet with the name of month and year. See, I am deleting this. Now click on this and see the August 2020 will appear. Created a macro which will copy all the record in a different sheet with the name of month and year. So now we need to create another macro for clearing this sheet. To do that, we need to go in for a code sheet. Under this, we need to create another module. In this module, we need to put this formula, which will clear all the record from C7 to AG65. I have given the more range over there. So under this, C7 to AG67. Where is C7? C7 belongs to the first record of or a first cell of the employee. Why AG7? AG67? Because AG is the last date. Because we don't have any month where we will exceed with 31st to 32. AG67, that means if you want to put a more record or more employee here, that macro will also work. So we have created that macro, we have put that code in a macro. Now we need to assign. Similarly, as copy sheet, we need to drag one symbol here, then we need to format this symbol, then provide one name, clear sheet. Similarly, we need to do formatting. Now we need to assign that macro. To assign that macro, clear cell. So now we have assigned both the macros on two different symbols. So copy sheet is working. August 2020. Now we need to clear this sheet. Click on this. Your all record will disappear from there. So now we have created two different macro here. Now we will create a macro which will put a WO, week off or holiday according to the values available on this. Right, to do that I need to pull another macro sheet or a coding, another module. I am putting that macro name as week off. Then I need to put the same first two line of that macro, previous macro. Now we need to put the if function here. If the sheet name is WH, we assign the WH dot range. Range means what cell you want to provide. So I am giving as a C5 because C5 contains the Saturday Sunday, right? C5 dot value is equal to Saturday. Then WH dot range C7 to C16 dot value equal to WO. Then we need to close the if. So our first function is created for Saturday only for value C5. So why we have provided C7 to C16? Because our records belongs to C7 to C16 only. If it will increase, then we need to increase the range of that macro as well. Currently we have written that code for only for C5. Then we need to write the code for all the cells which contains the days or a holiday. So we need to write the same formula like 31 times in that macro sheet. For now I have updated for only one cell. You can copy and paste and change the value for entire 31 records and it will work. 31 into 2, which is for Saturday and Sunday, that means 31 into 2, 62 times you need to write that, and 31 times you need to write for holiday. So I have created that macro. Then we need to assign. So to assign this, I am pulling another symbol here and giving the name as week off. Week off, then do a formatting little bit so that it will look good,
and now I am assigning that macro. So see, the macro is assigned on week of symbol. After clicking on this cell should be updated as WO. See. So please watch this area where the macro will update the W under the C7 to C16. See. So now we have completed with three macros, all the three macros. The first one is copy sheet, another one is the career sheet, and the third one is week off and the holiday updation. In holiday or week off updation, you need to write a long code. Just you need to copy and paste and change the value over there. It will provide you all the week off and the holiday records for you. So that's it in this video. If you like this video, then please click on the like button. Please share, please comment if you have any question. I will put this sheet in a description as well. If you are new on this channel, then please subscribe this channel as well. And if you want a notification of my videos, then please click on the bell icon as well. Thank you very much for watching this video. We will meet you very soon in a next video.